Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, everybody. It is your host, Keedron, and the beautiful Katora Boston.
No, he said it's your host and proceeded to name both of us. Hi, guys. I'm Katura. We are so glad that you all decided to hop on with us tonight. If you saw from our caption, we need to talk. We back,
We back.
but we need to talk. So we hope y'all are down to listen. Hey, if this is your first time popping in with Talking with the Bostons or just meeting the Bostons in general, how y'all doing? It's nice to meet you.
Yes.
If you have known us for a while, let us know how you know us and where you know us from. But if you're a newbie, just give a thumbs up. You don't have to share yet. We're not going to beg you to share. You don't even know what the content is yet. So thank you for joining. Hi, as you come in, Diana. We needed to talk. Keedron brought to my attention that we needed to do a piece of a catch up. So for those of you who don't know us, we just did 10 episodes last year of Not About Me moments with the Bostons. We had tons of different guests on and people that we know, voices that we trust and love to kind of speak into our lives, to speak into your lives and share and kind of just be in on some of the conversations that we normally have, but just kind of having them a little bit more publicly. So those of you who know us fairly well, who have known us for a while, you see us and you see our posts. And some of y'all are wondering, like, are they for real? Yes, we are for real. This is us. We ain't Hollywood. We neighborhood. Look, from Brooklyn, from San Antonio. This is as real as it gets. And we out here in these streets.
Sure.
Talk to the people, Keedron.
Yeah, listen, so...
Divine self.
Listen to myself. Get started.
Look, we back.
Way back. No, we're super excited about being back. It was actually 2021. We did 10 episodes of Not About Me moments. It was great.
Yeah, so fun.
Yeah, great fun. Great
Lots
friends.
of enriching conversations.
Yeah.
And the voices that we had on really had things to share. We talked about everything from parenting, marriage,
friendships,
relationships, ministry, overseas ministry, just whatever was important to us.
Yeah.
And we had a theme. They were based on some of the titles of Keedron's album, Not About Me. And so we kind of took that and ran with it. And we had some great friends and guests kind of join us. And you all played a huge role in a lot of that content because of your comments and your interactions with us.
Yeah. So sure. That was beautiful. So thank y'all for that.
Yeah.
And a lot of you may know, some of you may know that follow us or that are close to us, some of our family. December 28th, 2021, I lost my brother. My brother, my younger brother, Edwin Boston, passed away December 28th. And we did our last episode of the year, I think.
In December.
Really? Yeah, the 27th or it was a couple of days before that. You know what I mean? So we finished the year with episode 10 and then got the worst news of my life, when I found out that my brother had lost his life. And so that was hard. That was tough, as you can imagine, So I just want to say thank you for all the texts, all the calls, all the prayers, everyone that has checked on us, that has checked on us personally, checked on me privately. I appreciate each and every one of you. It meant so much. But things shifted, for our lives and my heart and my mind. Like, as you can imagine, my brother was the closest, loss. Like, I never, aside from, my grandparents and things like that, and have cousins that I love dearly that have passed away. But my brother, man, that was hard. And so just taking care of his affairs with my parents, I love my mom and dad, and I watched them grieve and go through what they were going through in that time. And it was just a blessing to be able to be with them during that time.
Yeah.
My brother lived in Colorado Springs, so shout out to all of our Colorado Springs family and friends. Thank y'all for your love and support.
And soldiers.
Yeah, and all the soldiers. My brother was a military veteran, Army veteran, and all of his soldiers and friends and comrades showed up for them and have supported us and have been there. So grateful for y'all as well.
Yeah.
But it was a process for us, during that season, and it was tough. You know what I mean? But God gave us grace for that. Gave me so much grace
and
strength. I'm grateful for that. My parents asked me to actually eulogize my brother, and that was a complete honor. Something that, of course, you don't want to have to do, you know what I mean?
Right.
But I was honored to do so, and God gave me the strength, gave me the grace, the peace, everything I needed in that season to honor my brother, to honor his life. And I'm grateful for that. So that happened right after, we finished up. So 2022, we kind of recalibrated, and God,
a lot of things,
you know what I mean?
Realigned.
Yeah.
And we're gonna talk to y'all a little bit about
sure.
it. So we'll definitely bring this stuff up.
Mm-hmm.
Also, by the way, if you want to see any of those episodes, you can find them on YouTube, youtube.com/withthebostons. So there's a lot of great content, and that's why we didn't really do any clips. We had a lot of content. That last episode was one of our best, one of our favorites, but obviously we're sharing this, and Keidron's sharing this just to be super transparent. We're not treating this like, oh, we've been gone and now we're back. We're just in another season. And we thought it might be fun to, kind of, build some more momentum and kind of get trekking on this next level in our journey again with you guys. So
no, that's real.
I think all things, life be lifing, right? Like people say that now, but it's so different when it happens to you, and you have to decide what are you going to prioritize in every season. And so we didn't stop parenting. God brought us closer together in our marriage. He brought our families closer together, and we really had to bond in a way that we never had before. But so many other things came out of this season. We kind of recalibrated, and we set some new goals. Some really big things kind of happened in our family. We still have, for those of you who don't know us, some of you know this already, but we have 2 kids in college.
Two of them.
Dos estudiantes. And so we have one that he's not living at home, so he's in college. He's still in Texas, by the grace of God. Thank you, Jesus. Look, some of y'all know what I'm talking about. Some of y'all don't. It's okay. Hold on. And then we have one college student that's living at home. And so that's been like a whole journey this year, realizing like we legit have both kids, older kids in college. And then we have Zion and Zoe, of course, who are still minors. Zion is in high school and playing football, and he just has the best dad in the whole world. Shout out to this man right here, who was at all the camps, all the trainings, all the practices, all the things. I mean, and having a blast, like really enjoying this season of our kids' life. And Zoe, we're homeschooling her now. Y'all, we cannot do a whole conversation about this now.
But we will talk about it.
We will talk about it and how she's
Yeah.
doing. Okay, we'll talk about that. Look, check on us. See how we doing. Ain't nobody in the comments ask how we doing. We doing good. we're doing good.
And with that, I'm gonna let you finish
Yes,
too. But
no,
I think
that's
a good thing. I just want to share this too.
Yeah.
I really want to thank God for our church, the Potter's House, North Dallas. Because during the season, not to even go back, but I just want to make sure that y'all understand too. It's important for us to, and I felt definitely personally for me and my family, for us to take care of ourselves mentally, of course, spiritually, we're plugged in and do what we can to make sure that we build our lives in that way on the foundation of Christ and everything that we need from the Word of God and things. And our church family came through for us when it came to everything but grief. I was able to be a part of Kay's Way, which is a grief and loss I don't want to call it program, but process.
It's a support
It's
group.
a support group
Mhm.
that really helped me understand what I was going through and the grief. And as I was still, because
Yeah.
some of the stuff, it's hard to process. Some stuff you can't process.
Yeah,
But
it's true.
our church family really helped us with that. And then I was able to do this with my mother and my sister. You know what I mean? Because that was my mother's son. That was my sister's brother. And for us to be able to walk through this grief journey together in a healthy way,
Yeah.
to understand how we, need to communicate with each other, it was such a blessing. So yes, I thank God
Yes.
for Kay's Way. It has blessed my life tremendously, and I'm grateful for our church family. And I'm grateful
Yes.
for you too, because I know Evan was your brother too. Me and Couture have been together. We've
24
been,
years.
yeah, it's been a long time. So my brother is her brother, right? Right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
she lost him too, and so, but I just appreciate your support and your love and prayers, and for covering me and really helping me during that process, even still now, because every day, it's not a day that goes by that I don't think about my brother. When I see a soldier, when I hear a song, when I think of a word, it's Edwin. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I love my guy, man. And so y'all continue to keep us in prayer, keep his family in prayer, his children, 3 beautiful children that he has. And
Yes.
we love them and thank God that we're still here. But I wanted to say,
No, that was so good,
Yeah.
because I think that, knowing that you don't have to do this stuff alone. And there were moments and things that I knew he needed that I couldn't just give him by myself. So it's okay, to have a support system.
For sure. I appreciate it. Yeah. And so that's just one of the things that, some of the things
It's
that,
too early on.
I know, no, it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah.
Just real life, like life happens.
Yeah.
Life be life, and like you said.
Yeah.
And but we feel like it's really important for us to tend to ourselves, like as we're helping people, like we do a lot. We serve, and that's our heart, and we love
Yes.
to serve God, people of God,
Yeah.
sacrificially. We serve our
Yeah.
family, our children, and it's a lot, but we can only help others if
we're healthy.
if we're healthy.
We're
you know what I mean?
healthy.
And so
we're keeping it 100 on here. Like, we didn't get on here to front. We told y'all when you got on, we were going to be real, raw, transparent. And when you see us, when you see anybody, you never know what's behind that smile,
true,
or that service, or what they're doing. You never know. And so there was no part of this journey where we were faking. We were doing life like everybody else. Like y'all have testimonies that we won't know, we won't hear, but we just know that in life you will face things, and you have to push through them. You work and you serve, and you do what you are called to do. You stay on your post. And that's what we did. But we did it in a lot of different ways. We did it together. We did it with our family. We did it with the support of our church. And we did it even while we were hurting at times. But the thing was, even though we were hurting, we were healing at the same time.
Yeah.
So we weren't in a broken place. Like they say, I was bruised, but not broken. And we were bruised for a season, and we didn't see it fit to prioritize, what we were doing on our platforms and things like that. So the best we could do was to live out our strength and to just live our lives. And if you happen to see that from a distance, just know that was real. That was for real. That was the real us. But we're saying what was on the other side of that was this process that our family, that we had to go through, and that we were privileged to go through. We were blessed to go through it, because we grew, we learned, we got stronger, and things were built, even though our hearts were broken, other things were being built. Yeah. And so that's the point of this. Yeah. So, the tears are real, the story's real, we're real people. Yeah. So We
God
just
is
came
faithful.
to myth bust.
Yeah, for sure.
To myth bust. God is faithful,
Yeah.
and you can still, walk uprightly and walk according to God's purpose for your life, no matter what you're going through. If you know that you need Him to do it, if you're relying on your own strength, that's a whole nother story. And we can't even speak to that because we don't do it. We don't try to do it. But we did not do this without the grace of God, without the strength of God, without the help of God, and the encouragement from a lot of you.
Yeah, the help of people.
Yes, we
encouragement of
let people help us.
Yeah, God has used people.
Yeah.
Some of you are on this, watching this as well, and so we appreciate our
Yeah.
village. And that's key. That's key. Like,
let's segue into the village.
Recognize your village. Who is your
Yeah.
village? You know what I mean? Who are the people that check on you? Who are the people that you think about?
Right.
Who are the people that think about you? We need each other.
Right.
Like we can't think that it's not important for us to have people in our lives. Some of us are private. Some of us don't, want to deal with certain things.
You don't need a big village.
Right. Who do you want to deal with?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because sometimes if you have that one,
right. Yeah. And that's important. And that is what strengthens us.
Yeah.
And keeps us. So it's been a blessing. So we're glad to be back. We're glad to be here. And actually, this is just a new season.
Yes, this is Talking with the Bosses. This is not about me moments.
Yeah, this is.
We did that. We feel like successfully.
Yeah.
You guys supported so greatly. If you're just joining us or just watching now, you can check that out on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/withthebostons.
Yeah.
And you can see all of the other episodes. We had a ton of guests on there. We look forward to doing that again in this season.
Yeah.
But for a little while, we thought we would just come back and kind of talk to y'all and let y'all just kind of hear from us and get to know us if you don't, and learn some things about us that you don't know if you do know us, right?
Yeah.
So, hey.
Yeah.
How y'all doing?
Yeah. We love y'all so much.
Thank you, Ms. Linda.
So much. Yeah,
Thank you, Ms. Damian.
Yeah. So what else has been happening? So I know in 2022 in July, right? I was blessed with an opportunity to be the new student ministry director at the Potter's House North Dallas.
Yes.
And that's been wonderful. That's been wonderful.
It's been wonderful and crazy for me because I'm gonna look. Can I finish telling the
go
truth?
ahead. Tell
Okay, so I'm the children's ministry director at our church, and as long as I can remember, Kedra and I, we've been doing ministry together for 2 decades. Right, this is my 21st year in children's ministry, and it's hard to remember a time where we weren't doing that in the same space together, and he's the best. And so it absolutely made sense that our pastor would ask him to do this following the transition of the last student ministry director, who was also amazing. That's our brother, and we love him so much.
Shout out Pastor Phil.
Absolutely, we love you, Pastor Phil. It made sense that he would step up and do this because it's his heart. This is what he's always done. He's always served kids and teens. But it was like a loss for me, and I had to grieve that loss. No, for real, it was emotional. There were days I was like, I know he's like right down the hallway, but like in the beginning, y'all, there were kids, especially some of the boys, that when I came and I would keep showing up and they wouldn't see him, and they would be like, "Where's Mr. Boss?" I'm like, "Oh, he's down there at Firehouse." Yeah, they tried to fire me. They were like, "Well, when is he gonna come back?" Like, how about you go down there and he comes back here? So it was amazing to see the impact that he had on the young men in ministry. And like now they've decided that I can keep my job. So I appreciate them because without them, there's no me. And I'm here for all the noise talking that they gave me. I love it. Those are my babies. But it was just, it was like, there was just something still in that atmosphere that was left from his presence. And it just helped me to keep going. It gave me a new and fresh zeal. So when he took his new position, all this creativity that he had for older kids, he just started inspiring me so much. And he's so grateful to our pastor. No, you're doing great. Let me tell y'all something. If y'all are not...
It's family ministry,
It's
y'all.
family ministry.
Shout out to Pastor Lana Jeffrey.
Yes, our family ministry pastor.
Yes.
She's amazing,
Yeah.
and she lets us be ourselves.
Yeah.
And she knows our hearts. Our hearts are to see worlds of children and teens kind of, well, not kind of, but actually bridged.
Yeah.
I know that when they're leaving children's ministry, they're going to the next step, and that next step is into student ministry, which we can't explain why student ministry is beginning at middle school and high school, because our elementary kids are students too, but we refer to it as student ministry in the kids ministry world, right?
Yeah.
So now we get to work together in a different way, where we can do some vertical planning, and the things that he envisions and the things that I envision, they kind of just come together. And our church family really supports it. Like, they're behind every single thing that we do. Any event, any initiative that we're doing, it is not hard to get them, on board. So they've given their vote of confidence to Keidron. So I am done grieving. He's coming up on a year in July.
Yeah, next Sunday.
Yes,
next
congratulations.
Sunday. Yeah.
You don't have to get this man. So we got to figure out what you want to eat.
Listen,
but
whatever you cook, I'm gonna tell you that. Right
listen, because
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna eat good. We don't play on Sundays. Who else don't play on Sundays? We do. If it's one day we're not playing on, when it comes to our meals, it's gonna be Sunday.
Yeah.
So
now that's good. Now we get it. I'm glad that we still get to do this together, because
yes.
and we'll talk more about family ministry as well. But when we think about even just the structure, of course we're married, and so it's been a blessing to see that.
And we're parents.
You're parents. But to see that marriage even in ministry in that way, it's like we're looking after the whole house, like we do here,
Right.
So
it's
good
like
to see it like that.
essentially.
You think about the older, the young ones coming up, the older ones still acknowledging the young kids in ministry. I always say in the house, big brothers and big sisters still have to take care and look after, the little ones.
That's
So even at church, it's good to be able to, to be able to,
because you let them come serve, and you let them still like pour into the kids. They help lead worship. So
they're gonna see each other. You're gonna see each other in the house, right?
I love that.
So that's key. So it's good that we still get to do this together. And of course, I miss it as well. You know what I mean? But I still feel like it's just not just an upgrade, but it's also good to still be in. That's right. You're right. So anyway, so that's happened. And then for you, like, girl, you've been everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Just pouring into so many leaders, in church, in the community, even in what y'all gonna say, cyberspace, but digital ministry. I mean, you talking about you had some conversations about
I've been talking about some of everything, like digital discipleship. I was just on a podcast.
GPT.
And not necessarily the brand, but just AI.
AI, that's what that's.
AI and its role, in the future. Of course, y'all always know I'm going to take the stance of education first. If you don't know that, if you're new to us, we are also, we're not currently like bivocational still. We are kind of early retired from just being full-time immersed in the education world, but we are longtime educators. And so because we are in full-time ministry, like that part of us does not go anywhere. So anytime I talk about anything, I'm talking about it from the place of education. So when I mention AI, just know I am not, I'm not promoting or pushing any particular platform, but I do think, especially the people and the parents in the church, I want us to be informed about what it is and what's happening, because it's been around for a long time and now we're hearing about it a little bit more. And so my stance is always get information, get educated about it, and don't just let it happen to you. Like, we don't need to be last in the church specifically to know what's going on with that. But consulting with churches. So I do a little bit of church consulting. I'm working with a church right now. I've done at least 2 or 3. But this is probably by far my biggest project because it is at a distance. It's in Indianapolis. So we get to do a lot of traveling, going back and forth. We do some virtual. So that's been awesome. I've spoken at, the Orange Conference, which is a family ministry conference. We help inform the writers and give insight to the writers who write for the curriculum of this particular organization, and a few others. So just some interviews and just giving insight into what it is to be in family ministry, leadership in children's ministry and student ministry. That's really important to me. I started writing a book that's going to talk about leadership in ministry, specifically family ministry. That's important to me too. So just be on the lookout for those, because we have some things that are coming up. I'm not giving dates because, again, this platform is not to just push stuff we're doing, but we're just telling you what we've been doing in the interim while we've been away from you all, as far as kind of like this, right? We've still been moving, and we just want you to keep us in prayer because we've been moving for the cause of Christ. We don't talk about everything that we do, and again, we don't put timelines on things because, again, everything that we do is in God's hands completely, as we have completely surrendered everything that we do and every thought that we have. So we're not on anybody's timeline, and we're not out here trying to do anything but ensure that God is glorified in our lives. So
that's good.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Man, like, so we're going to shift before we get off. We'll be on a few more minutes. I feel, we'll flow, but I want to say that I'm excited about what we have started with this. Whenever we get on, like our goal today was just legit to check in, to talk to you guys, let y'all know what's happening, what has happened with us as far as just in our lives just a little bit. What I'm excited about, what we'll be able to do with this is have conversations, real conversations, candid, transparent, about things that matter to us, but also to the people in our lives and our area of influence. And so when we have people on, our goal and our focus is to add value to you all when you tune in. And that gauge comes from you. It doesn't necessarily come from us, but that is our focus to what when we have guests on or things that we talk about, we want to be real, and we want to talk about relevant things. We might not talk about everything, but we're going to talk about the stuff that matters to us and things that we can actually, speak to.
That's a fact.
I think that's important. But I know it's something that we need to do, and we're excited about it, and we're glad that you're here. We got our people on, and some stuff will be pre-recorded, y'all. But here's the thing: like, I love it doing it live. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we have fun.
What's up, P? You know what I mean?
We have fun. We have fun doing this.
Yeah,
you guys make it fun. You guys make it even more interesting. But picture yourself being a fly. Can you ever see people? I just wish I was a fly on the wall to see what was going to happen next. This is kind of what these conversations are, but I think they're a little bit better than that, because what we're talking about in terms of parenting, in terms of marriage and relationship, raising adult kids, kids that are still in school, they're extra things. How do we balance those things in a healthy way? And the truth is, we figured out a long time ago. Now we can talk about it because we've lived it and we've done it. We're not just saying, here's 3 ways to do X, Y, Z. We may be able to give you some points, and I'm sure we could, jot some stuff down. But at the end of the day, it's purely anecdotal. We're talking about our particular walk, our specific walk, and our journey. We have known each other for 24 years. We met in high school. So we've known each other now more than half of our actual lives.
Yeah.
Like, let that sizzle. We've known each other more than half of our lives. Like, you wait to grow up so you can have your own things, and then you get married to someone and you share everything, and you're like, this is the best thing that ever happened to me. This is what living life and ministry and marriage is like for me when it comes to Kedron. So that is really the angle and perspective we want to come from, just talking about our actual experiences. Sometimes our conversations may be on a different level because we're just as fun, and Corkin is down to earth, but we're also intellectuals. And so when we engage in deeper conversation and high level thinking, we want to go there with y'all too, and know that that's okay. And y'all will let us know, how y'all take to it. But we do want to talk about things that we think are enriching, that are going to build and motivate and inspire and cultivate you to do the things that God is calling you to do in your life with confidence, of looking at two people that come from a place where they say good things don't grow. But by the grace of God, and the seeds that were sown, we grew up, and we grew in grace, and we did it with God.
Sure,
And
still
so that's the secret, right?
Yeah,
That is it for us. We have not, I don't even want to go there with people, but we ain't manifest nothing here. We prayed and we believed and we trust God for his will in our lives.
Yeah,
and we
key.
Surrendered to him.
That's
so just for the record, and just to be clear.
Yeah, that's a big key.
Yeah, that's how we've navigated everything. So that's always the perspective that we'll bring to the table. And we just love spending time with y'all. We love each other. So this makes it really easy. This is what we do in the car.
Yeah.
Because we're together so much. And we know how to give each other space, because we know how to peel out and go play the game. And I'll be on Pinterest looking up juicing recipes. Y'all, I just started juicing.
They've been good too.
Look, thank you.
They've been good. Them juices, I've been taking little juice shots and stuff.
He was, oh my gosh.
Oh, man.
Mouthwash cups, he like hit me. And just being silly. My daughter was like, okay, guys, we're having fun.
Yeah.
So,
but you've been doing good with that.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, like one thing, with and it's been helping even with Zion, because he works out so much, you know what I mean? And, shout out to our boy Zion, man. He has worked so hard at football, worked out so hard, even in music, he plays the keys for us every Sunday at Firehouse North End. It's wonderful. You know what I mean? It's a blessing to be able to teach. When I'm praying or it's altar call and I see my son, on the keys, and I hear him, as we go in together and leading in that way, it's been a blessing. And he's been so consistent when it comes to working on his crafts, you know what I mean? The gifts that God has given him. It's been a blessing to see that. So in this season, we're going to continue to, highlight and talk about our children, what Aaron is doing, over at University of North Texas, and what he's doing with his with dance and design and things like that. Symphony with her crafts and her music and her business with what she's doing with the tufting and the rugs and the crocheting. Zion with his sports and music. Zoe, is coming into her own. She's 12 years old. And so, she's talking, she loves skincare. I'm telling you, if you see Zoe anytime, for y'all know, her edge is going to always be on point. Her edge is going to always be laid.
And her skin is going to be glowing.
And her skin going to be glowing. And so.
Also because she's 12.
Yeah.
But she's all into her face routine as well. And skincare.
For sure. And she's been developing just like a love for skincare, dermatology, and things like that she's just asking questions about. So it's a blessing to see that, because before,
cute.
a year or two ago, we would ask her, Zoe, what you think you want to do when you get older? She like, oh, I'm just gonna wing it. You know what I mean?
She said that.
Yeah.
We were like, okay, we just gonna revisit this. We're gonna give you some time, and we just gonna circle back next time.
You do not have to have it figured out.
Right.
Even when I was in college, we were in college, didn't have it all figured out what I wanted to do.
No. How many times you changed your major?
At least a couple times. And then there was one time where I had to figure something out.
Right. Or it was the end of the road after that.
But this girl finished her bachelor's degree with a 4.0, her master's with a 4. So she's just a genius. You know what I mean? For me, I worked hard at Texas A&M. I worked for what
he did. He worked.
The GPA ain't on that diploma. I tell you that on that. But I did enough to pass. Yeah.
And he is okay. Also, that was a whole different dynamic, and we might have to. One of our segments might have to be that. But we were teenage parents. We were parents in college, and all of that was a factor. And again, it was the grace of God and us doing it together. Like, we were committed to seeing each other accomplish these goals.
So each other win and do well.
And have them babies in church every Sunday.
Yeah.
Listen, let me tell you something.
That was key. Like, we cannot raise these
help.
babies without the Lord. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
One of my favorite scriptures is Isaiah 54, and I think 11, where it says, "Your children will be taught by the Lord.
By him.
Great will be the peace of your children."
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like,
Listen,
we need it, Lord.
We need it.
And so,
And still,
even still, yeah.
somebody.
Yeah.
We need it.
But I was saying too, just to go back, it's about this health thing. It's helping because with Zion, like, he's been working out so much. Of course, they have the summer school thing he's doing at school, but he also has a trainer outside.
There's not summer school, but like camp.
Yeah, summer camp.
Yeah,
after school.
He's not summer school.
Yeah. But he has a trainer. He's working out 3, 4, 5, 6 times a week.
Yes.
And so making sure that he's healthy, that he's gaining weight, that he's getting stronger in the way that he needs to, is really helping us even in the household. Because first of all, even this year, one of our goals was to be mindful and to invest in our health.
Yes.
Invest in our health, invest in our wealth. And so it's been important for that. We've been to the chiropractor to work it up. As y'all can see, I'm still making sure that, the good habits stick when it comes to that. But it's just a blessing, to see our house kind of coming into alignment on different things in different seasons as we are growing, as we're learning. It's like, because we have to shift. We have to make sure that we're mindful of what's happening. And then it's just good for me to see, okay, what all my children are doing, what we're doing, and it's coming into alignment and bringing us together. Say, what do we all need in this season? Yes. We know we all need to be healthy. We know we all need to be eating right. So there's some things that we're cutting back from. Hadn't made any promises to say that I won't ever eat bacon again. I'm just saying I'm not eating it right now. I'm not eating pork right now. Whatever that is, we're making commitments to our health, to really building our temple and taking care of this temple. You only get one for now, right? At least the earthly one. So it's important to me, to us, for us to be on one accord with that. And so with her just taking, she's always been good about it. And I don't mind eating healthy. Like I like greens, I like vegetables, like all of that stuff. But sometimes we get to moving around and I get hungry, y'all. So, when you get hungry, it's like, what is there to eat? You know what I'm saying? I got about 8,000 Chick-fil-A points right now. You know what I'm saying? I got to pay for a Chick-fil-A meal for about a week and a half if I didn't want to. Yeah. But for her, your intentionality to say, you know what can I do to make sure that we eat good, eat healthy? Look, she's Caribbean, y'all. She's West Indian, got the Caribbean in her blood. And so the flavor is gonna be there. You know what I mean? It's necessary.
Yes.
But for you to
necessary.
Yeah. And you do well at it. But just your intentionality and doing research to make sure, okay, what needs to be done? How can I add to what we already do? Because it's not about taking away a lot of stuff. I think I've heard you say that before. It's not about saying I don't need this, and that. It's a lot about what do we need to add. And so you've been doing great about what we need to add to our meals and our diet, in that way. And so
it's becoming our lifestyle now.
For sure. And we're still growing and learning, from that. But
our checkups
being mindful,
show and prove that we are learning, right? Because we're seeing the fruit of it. Keaton just got some blood work and he's like, man, I couldn't tell, if these changes over the last year had been helping. And he's just doing a good job at being mindful as a dad, even saying, I'm going to go get a checkup. Like he's not, we're not, you don't have to go to the doctor just because you're sick or because you're in crisis. Yeah. You can be responsible and say, we just want to check in on ourselves, and doing the same for our kids. And so he got some information that let him know, like, we are on the right track, and those little changes do help. And what God showed us about our health this year, we heard him correctly. And I don't think you can ever go wrong with that. But just realigning to make sure our entire lifestyle is that, because we are of the persuasion that you cannot assume, and you don't want to latch on to this idea that, we're just going to have this, or this is normal, this ailment, this sickness, this disease, this ailment is just normal because it runs in my family. I need you to stop saying that in the name of Jesus. Stop saying that. Stop claiming that something runs in your families. What we do is we learn habits, we learn eating styles and menus and how we celebrate, how we handle grief, how we do celebrations. All of those things are learned. And so as we're learning more, we're learning how to adjust. What do we want? And so someone asked me recently when I told them we were just buying healthier things or choosing different options. They're like, but shopping healthy is so expensive. And I said, some of those products are more expensive. Some, not all, some. But when you're cutting out some of the things that are pretty much trash and you start thinking about, if I eliminate this, I can actually put what I was spending on this onto a better quality product. It really does balance itself out. And so if you trust God with that, if God is speaking to you concerning your health and just being more responsible about it, trust him with that, and he will give you wisdom, and he will give you the resources and help you become a little bit more creative. Because what I didn't do was go in there and say, I'm throwing away every honey bun, every cookie, every, sweet drink. I did not do that. I let that stuff run out. And as it was running out, I was incorporating other things. Right. So while there was still 2 or 3 honey buns left, I just brought in 3 or 4 different fruits and left them on the counter. I brought in, some applesauce and started changing up some of the way I was cooking the meals and letting the kids try different things. We did that simultaneously. And so we felt like that was probably helpful for our kids. But at the same time, at the end of the day, as the woman of the house, I felt responsible for what I put on the table because I do cook pretty often and I'm doing all the shopping. So when it comes to just being a better example for our kids, we needed to show them. And so the best way to do that was to go on take them on this journey with us, not just do it with them, but bring them on this journey with us. Because one thing I was anticipating, I told Zoe this, our 12-year-old, I said, baby girl, the way you get to eat out and the access to snacks that we can afford, to provide you with now are not things that me and dad had as kids. We didn't have them as often, as much, or as frequently as you get to have them. And so I think about your little system and what your system is going to look like when you're my age. Right. So we need to start making some changes because I want you to feel good and be strong and be healthy. When you're my age, I didn't have those things for a lot of years. Y'all remember going out to eat was like, that was special. Man,
you go to McDonald's, boy. You get to go to McDonald's.
Oh my goodness. It had to be somebody's graduation. Your whole life. Right, income tax season. It was something special.
You passed McDonald's, you crying.
Let me tell you, you were crying.
You passing it.
And don't let them say we got McDonald's at the house.
Man,
or do you have McDonald's money? Like, look, our parents were not wrong, but that's just what it was, right?
Yeah, no, so, that's good.
So we've had to kind of adjust that and say we're gonna trade out some foods. Yes, thank you, Desiree. That was a luxury. It was a thing. And it's not that we're trying to deprive our kids, but when you think about the value, and are we really depriving? Like if I say I'm not buying $50 worth of junk food that has sugar and sodium and everything that you don't need, that's tearing up your body at a cellular level, am I really depriving you or am I saving you? And I had to switch with the way I was thinking about it. Like, no, you're not going to love it in the beginning. Maybe I'm not buying the honey buns, the oatmeal cream pies, and the sliced pound cake. Maybe I'm only buying one of those and I'm bringing other healthier things in. Maybe I'm putting parameters and saying it's not a free-for-all on these oatmeal cream pies. There's 10 in the box. You get 2, you get 2, and you get 2, and that's it. Having boundaries.
I'm making homemade pies and things like that too.
Yes, because we do that too. We made homemade. What did we make? Homemade whipped cream for Zoe to go with the fruit. I bought a bunch of fruit, and she wanted whipped cream. I made it homemade, so I knew exactly how much I was using pure cane sugar, and she knows almond cream milk, and vanilla extract. And I whipped it and showed her how to do it, and she was like, "This is really good. Can we make some more of this?" Yeah. She just didn't know, So it also was an opportunity to educate and expose. Yes, but you make a good point. Like we cook a lot at home, and if we are intentional about our grocery shopping, that $50 that we could spend in the drive-thru, because y'all, these fast food places are not playing about their money they cost. Right. And, just not taking for granted what health really means and what we can do to kind of live a life in front of our kids. We do it in every other way. We show them about praying and our spirituality and our walk with Christ. That's our spiritual life, right? Our physical being. We got to take care of that
Yeah,
too. So
that's
we just had to get serious. I'm sorry, I went on a whole range.
no, that's actually no,
ahead.
that's good. You know,
Yeah,
it's life,
yeah,
and I think just being mindful of where we are,
yeah.
whether you have children or not,
Even for yourself,
right
it
for
starts with
yourself.
us.
Like where are you right now?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
in life, health wise, mentally, physically, emotionally, relationally.
Yeah.
What does it look like? It's cool to take a snapshot of your life right now and see who's with you, who's for you,
Yeah.
and how you need to adjust, how you need to move. I think that's key.
Yeah.
You know, recalibration is there's nothing wrong with
It's
that.
okay. You're
You
not
know,
judging
it's
people either
yeah,
for taking a snapshot. You're just assessing and you're
assessing, yeah,
evaluating
yeah,
where you are and what you know that you need,
sure,
right, in this season, and taking care of you. Taking care of you is also a way of honoring God. And I'm not just talking about self-care or a spa day. I'm talking about just thinking about where you are, like
yeah,
Keatron said, like just pause and just look at yourself, listen to yourself.
yeah.
Yeah.
Let me yes, because so check this out, y'all. It's 2023. It's July 2023.
Yeah.
July 2020. I remember that, right? I remember July 2020 and how everything was shut down. It was just a few months, right? March, April, May, June, July. We 4 months in to this crazy pandemic. We have no idea what's going on. Life
Right.
shifted, life changed. We need to really see where we at, what we doing. If you didn't know where you were in life, at any time in your life, you knew where you were right then and there as far as like, okay,
And it was a time of loss.
it was
grief.
it was crazy,
It was
right?
hard for some people.
It really was. And so think about when we came back, when things started to open up and how we all started to move to get back to this new normal where we're moving in a different way. And we're moving different and we're just life is different. It's a new normal.
Yeah.
So now we're going and going and going. Some of us trying to catch up, some of us trying to stay ahead, whatever that looks like.
Or just stay afloat.
Right. Now is a good time to recalibrate and to see where you are, because some of us some of you may feel like you lost time, you lost opportunities, you lost people, whether physically, emotionally, relationally,
Or
right? Actually, right? And so some of us are in a place where we're like, I got to get it all back. And we're being going and going and going. And if we if we're not careful, if we're not mindful, we'll run ourselves into the ground. We'll run ourselves into a wall. And that's not healthy. That's not good.
Right.
So think about where you are right now. Think about who you have. Think about what you have. And then trust God with that. You know, we're people of faith, you know, so you'll hear us if you're watching this, whether you believe in that way or not. That's what we have found to be true and good and faithful is the love of God and what he's done in our life. And so we haven't done anything that we are doing now without the help of the Lord and the people that he's placed in our lives. So we will acknowledge him in all our ways as he has directed our path. And we'll continue to do that. But it's important for you to take a note of where you are in your life right now. Celebrate.
Yes.
Celebrate. For one, you're here.
Yes.
You are here. Thank God.
Yes.
You're still alive. You're still breathing. And as long as you have breath in your lungs, you have an opportunity. You have an opportunity, to pursue your dreams, to have that conversation, to make that call.
And there's time. There's time left in this year. If you feel like you missed, January, or you were on it, whatever your goal was, you were on it in January. You messed up in February, but then you saw a post that said, hey, it's February. It's not too late to get back on your goals. And you hopped on it in March. And then you fell off again in April. And you've not gotten back on because summer happened and things shifted, or the kids came home, or you got a different job, or you just slowed down, or you picked up the pace for whatever reason. We have found that you can Your new year can start any day you
Mm.
choose, because you can wake up every day and say, a year from
That's good,
today,
girl.
I want to be proud of me and I want God to be glorified in the decisions that I've made.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do my best. And I tell God all the time, God, be mindful of simple-minded me, because your ways are not my ways. Your
Yeah.
thoughts are not my thoughts. And I'm doing the best I can. I want the mind of Christ to be in me also.
Yeah.
But I also know that he is taking account human error, and I do have human error. And so I just plead the blood of Jesus over my mind. Like, God, even as I'm trying to recalibrate or recenter, I can go 3 days working out and then 4 days off. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to be that sore again. But then there's something in me that's like, on the 5th day, you know what? I don't care. I'm doing it again. I'm in here watching TV. I may as well get down on the floor and stretch these old, tight hamstrings out. And even if I'm just stretching, and just saying, I'm doing something that I did not do yesterday. Like, you have time. So with your 5 months left in the year, and we pray the Lord spares you. I love that, Miss Diane. Start. Whatever that is, start again. Do it again. Do it afraid.
And celebrate the little
celebrate
things.
It. Yeah.
Celebrate the little wins, like the little moments. That's important. If we don't do that, sometimes those long hauls are, you get drowsy on those long hauls. My dad was a truck driver, and and I love to drive, myself. Yeah. But we have those long hauls where we're driving, the destination is 5 hours, 10 hours away. And so if we don't stop and have a pit stop and get something to drink, stretch our legs, you know what I mean? Get something sweet, whatever that is, we'll fall asleep, we'll doze off, and it will impact your journey. It will impact your journey if you don't take a pit stop. And that's okay. It's okay to take a pit stop. And it's okay to set short-term goals. If it's just a week, this is what I'm going to do for this week. And then you check in with yourself
just all
that next week, whatever that is. Yeah. Whatever it takes for you to start, just do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're not too old and it's not too late, as long as you still got breath in your lungs, to do what has been in your heart, to do what was necessary for your life in this season. So just pay attention to that, right?
Yeah.
It's okay. Recognize.
You don't owe us anything. Like, in general, like, you don't owe social media explanation. If you fall off your diet, your workout, whatever it is you're doing, these goals are for you. They're really between you and God.
Yeah.
Like, to be honest, this is for you.
Yeah.
And so the time that he spends sharing with you and talking to you and encouraging you, and every time you feel like get up and go, hopefully you'll feel the Boston's hands on your back saying you can start again today. Yeah. Or shoot, you messed up half the day. Like, we only have moment to moment, right? My husband always says this, and I know you say it's not your quote, but y'all see why I love him. Like, this is why we're so close. But he says, tomorrow's gone. No, yesterday is gone. Tomorrow's not promised. So all we have is today. Today's the day of salvation. And that can go for so many things. All you have is today. Yes, that is God's word. And so it's okay to just be present, but start again, whatever that is. And we just encourage you. I think we're just on this kick where anytime we're inspired about taking care of ourselves and our families and our marriage, we can't help but to want to share, what that looks like. Yeah. One of the deacons at our church asked today, because I was talking to him, he has all his kids are grown and gone. And I was like, what is that like for you and your wife and stuff now, having an empty house? Because we anticipated, like, we're enjoying the season. And he was like, that's a great question. He was like, it took some getting used to knowing that they weren't in the house, but we also found out that we enjoy still doing things, together, and, just making new memories and having new moments. And I just thought, like, that's kind of how we feel. We feel the same way. And so the only thing that I think we can count on moving toward the future are some of the decisions that we make and asking God to bless them. So if we want to be around to, watch our kids grow up and spend more time with each other and discover our lives after our kids are grown and what that looks like in our relationship together, we want to make choices together that are kind of leading us in that direction. So my husband tells our kids all the time, when it comes to opportunities, don't accept anything that doesn't lead you to your destiny. So you need to know what you are and what you're not, who you are and who you're not, what you're doing and what you won't.
Right.
And you need to be very clear on that as God is leading you, so that you don't find yourself getting off course. And so for us, I think us not managing our resources well, us not raising our family well, us not tending to our marriage, us not being obedient to our assignment, us not tending to our health, are all things that would put us out of alignment what we know we have heard God say for us moving forward. So that's why we're making these decisions, and we're hoping that our kids will watch and maybe they'll keep some of these habits, whether they do or they don't.
Yeah.
We have an assignment.
That's good. That's good.
We have an assignment to take care of these things and steward them well.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So be mindful.
Yeah.
And manage it.
Yes. You got
Think about where you are. Be mindful of where you are today in your life.
Yeah.
You might be doing, some of y'all, some of us, first of all, I just want to clap it up for you all, because I know that.
Oh, for y'all. Come on.
For y'all, because I know that y'all are not where you used to be.
Sure not. Oh,
might not be where you want to be, but
God.
You're not where you used to be, right? Mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, financially, whatever that looks like.
Yeah.
Celebrate that.
Yeah.
But I'll say this: be mindful of where you are right now, and manage the moment.
Yes.
Manage the moment, right? Because it could be going well still. And look, there are things that are going good that you still need to manage.
That's right.
My grandfather, James,
that's good.
He had this old Firebird, this green, beautiful forest green.
Oh, gosh.
Thunderbird, nice.
What was it?
I think it was a
You
Thunderbird.
said Thunderbird.
Thunderbird. Anyway, beautiful car. He was a military drill sergeant. So every Sunday he'd be out there. That car would be, spotless. You know what I mean? He would take care of it, the engine purred like a kitten. So there are things that, even though they're looking good, you still need to manage them, right? So even if everything is going good in your life, management is what kept it and got it this far, more than likely.
Come on.
And if there's some things that are out of alignment that have been potentially mismanaged, this is time for to be mindful of those things and manage that. And this is for us too, right?
Absolutely.
Be mindful of where you are right now.
Yes, sir.
And manage the moment.
Amen.
Manage the moment. So if you don't get anything else from us today,
yes,
be mindful of where you are and manage the moment with your family. If you have children and maybe things are rocky right now, be mindful of the moment. What's happening right now? How can I be proactive to tend to it? Because sometimes when our children or friends or people do stuff to us, or we're impacted by something that happens, right? Because we're all human, we all make mistakes. But when something happens, we're more reactive, right? We're more reactive. When it happens, now I got to address it. Now I got to deal with it. Yeah. Whatever that is, let's try to be more proactive and say, you know what? Let me be mindful of some of these relationships. How have they been? Right? Maybe the last interaction that I had with this person, we're good now. We didn't really talk about what they did or what they said, but we're good now.
Right.
That's a good time to be proactive about it and have a conversation about how it made you feel. Right. Because as you move forward. But anyway, be mindful.
Yes.
Where you are and manage those moments.
I love that.
And that's going to be healthy for all of us. That's going to be healthy for you.
I receive it.
Yeah, all right.
Yes, no, that was more than all right. It's a great reminder. So, yes, mindful and manage. That's all we're trying to do out here. And we appreciate y'all. If you've hung on to this point, thank you. We appreciate you hanging out with us. We didn't put a time limit on this. We are getting ready to wrap up. We didn't put a time limit on it because we just want to spend some time with you. But if you came on a little bit later, and you want to hear, we had some really transparent and intimate stories that we shared early on in this live. So we encourage you, if you want an opportunity to pray for us and want to know how, you can go back to the beginning of this and maybe watch up until the point that you join. Because obviously we don't expect you to watch the whole thing all over. It's an hour. But if you want to see some of our last episodes, and we will be posting a lot of the things that we are talking about, because we will go topic by topic on certain things.
Yep.
This one was definitely a check-in to let you know that we're on a fresh journey. We're talking with the Bostons, but Not About Me Moments is on Facebook.com/with-the-Bostons.
Yeah, YouTube.
On YouTube, yes, on
Mhm.
YouTube. And you can check out any of those that you would like. We hope that if anything that we said tonight will bless you and cause you to want to subscribe or follow us. But if you don't think we're leading you anywhere, certainly do not subscribe. Do not hit the notifications, and certainly do not follow us. We would hate to waste anybody's time. We are grateful for you, and we want to be good stewards over not only you, but over the time that we spend with you and the time that you sacrifice to spend with us.
Yeah.
So we hope that it was time well spent, because we've enjoyed ourselves, and we consider doing this time well spent because it's an opportunity for us to do what we know God told us.
For sure.
So by now, if you've been watching, you know why I said I love this man so much. So much. 24 years strong, y'all. So
Your anniversary is this
July,
month. Yeah,
on the
this month.
20th.
Yeah, on the 20th.
Woo!
Yeah. Been married. Well, it'll be 16 years. Just
Yeah,
married.
16 years married.
Yeah.
24 years together.
Yeah.
And we still together.
Still together.
Are you
But
still
yes.
getting silly? So
Yes. But if y'all want to follow us on this journey, what we're doing,
and
be
keep
tuned
talking with the
in
Bostons.
to to what we're sharing, to the guests and people that we bring on.
Yeah.
Please subscribe on YouTube.
Yeah.
Just go over to YouTube, hit the subscribe button, notification, follow us in that way.
Y'all know it's free.
So because we look forward to building and growing it. We're gonna have some fun, and we're gonna do this.
Yeah, we're gonna do it regardless, but we
and
want to
so,
build with y'all.
Yeah, but we appreciate the time that y'all spent with us on this Sunday evening. We've already had our nap, so we'll rest it up a little bit. But we're looking forward to this week. Y'all have a great 4th of July. Be safe.
Yes.
Okay. If you popping firecrackers
And be good
and all of that
neighbors.
stuff like that. Yep. Be safe. And have some fun. Enjoy your family. If y'all going to cookouts, show love, right?
Show love.
Be patient.
Be patient.
But pray that y'all enjoy your week, enjoy your holiday,
Yeah.
say your grace. Some of us, I might say my grace. If y'all invite me over to cook out or something, I'm gonna say my grace in the car.
In the
okay?
car. We stay prayed up.
You
We
know,
coming ready to eat.
Yeah. But we love y'all so much. Thank you for the time. Everyone who joined us live on today, we appreciate you. For those of you who are rewatching this, we appreciate y'all. We thank you for your attention.
Yes.
Stay tuned. Talking with the Bostons, and we will be back later.
God bless you. Bye.